to the Stanley Cup Final.
In our nation's capital, the spring of 2007 will be forever remembered for the hockey team that captured the heart of an entire city, and a tiny hockey fan who captured the heart of an entire team.
It changes you as a person.
You like that stick?
Yeah. It's tough to find the words.
Elgin Alexander Fraser, born to be a hockey player.
We had him dressed in Sens gear at 3 months. And it was a big joke when I was pregnant that he was going to be born with a hockey stick in his hand.
Elgin, it seems, is also born with hockey player toughness, which he'd need far too early. At 9 months, he is diagnosed with Neuroblastoma, a rare and deadly form of cancer.
What is that like for a parent when you hear that news?
Numbing.
Never complained. Never, he'd have his days, but you stick a stick in his hand and he was fine.
The countless chemo treatments work for a while. But cruelly, this past January, exactly 2 years from his initial diagnosis, Elgin's cancer returns. He is given just a few months to live.
Mommy!
It is soon spring. Elgin is almost 3 now, and his passion for hockey, for the Senators, is growing.
Wow, you can skate good.
Hey, buddy.
Word gets around in a tight-knit community like Ottawa, and soon Chris Phillips and his wife Erin are arranging for Elgin to join the Senators for a practice.
Daddy got a high five? Oh yeah, the handshake, that a boy. Hi, oh, thumbs up. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of that. I'm bigger now.
You're bigger now?
I'm bigger now, Daddy. There? Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Gonna go for a skate today?
It was unbelievable. Hockey was everything to him. After getting to know him a little bit better, from the time he woke up in the morning till he went to sleep, he had a stick in his hand, and I'm sure when he was sleeping, he was dreaming about hockey.
Good pass. There you go.
Elgin keeps a list of his favorite players. Phillips is second, Emery third. But number one, his favorite, is Mike Fisher, who he'd first met during a Senator's visit to the Children's Hospital.
There was a bond. There was a bond between Mike and Elgin the very first time they met.
He was pretty shy at start, and then he kind of opened up. So I got to carry him around the ice, and his mom was following him, and he was just having a blast.
He just attached to him. He was kind, and Fisher was just so nice to him that Elgin just kind of wanted to be like him.
The bond between Elgin and his Sens friends grows quickly as he becomes a fixture at their playoff games. But as the Senators roll through the early rounds, Elgin's condition worsens. The day after Ottawa's Game 4 loss to Buffalo, Mike Fisher drops by the Fraser home to be with his friend.
And we had a good time, just kind of hanging out, watching Cars, the movie, and he was talking to his dad on the phone, and he told his dad that I was there visiting.
And Elgin got on the phone. Hi, Dad. Hey, bud. What's going on? Mike Fisher's here to play. I'm like, oh, that's great. Did you make sure you give him a big hug and say thanks and ask him if they're going to win the Stanley Cup?
And he looks over to me. He's like, "You going to win the cup?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Yes, we are."
And we approach the halfway mark of this first overtime.
Saturday, May 20th, the Senators are battling the Sabres in Buffalo. And in a quiet house in Carleton Place outside of Ottawa, Elgin Fraser is fading. He watches the game, drifting in and out of consciousness, his father whispering the play-by-play in his ear.
Buddy, Alfredson just scored. He just skated in and scored. They won. They're moving to the Stanley Cup. He was he wasn't awake watching it, but he could hear everything.
It really did feel like he hung on to watch the end of the game and to see us win and
2 hours after his favorite team makes it to the Stanley Cup final, Elgin Alexander Fraser passes away in his parents' arms.
To spend time with a kid like that is just brought a lot of joy to me, even though it was sad, and I was glad to be able to spend the time with him, and I cherish that. I've gotten a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls since we're going on to the Stanley Cup Finals, and everybody wishing us luck and hope that we do it. But that's one phone call I'm not going to get, but you know, one guy I know that wants to see us win more than anybody watching down.
It'll be a nice little topping and a great reminder every year. 2007, the year of the Stanley Cup for all the Senators and a little boy named Elgin. I think it'll be the best way. Carry it down Elgin Street. I think it's the only thing fitting for it.